Minister tells the truth.
The Met have revealed that they've got 300 images relating to these parties. Does that worry you?
No, not at all.
Don't you think it's odd that the Prime Minister wouldn't confirm whether he was at one of the gatherings being investigated by the police?
Well, as I've said numerous times, no one can say anything while an ongoing investigation because it could be prejudiced.
No, I mean, saying whether you were in your flat or not does not prejudice an inquiry.
No, I'm afraid the Prime Minister is bound by the same constraints that we all are. Until the Met investigation is concluded, we can't say anything.
I mean, the truth is you would support him no matter what, wouldn't you?
That's...
I mean, there are no circumstances under which you would say enough's enough.
Do you want to ask me a serious question?
Well, are there? I mean, you know, what would it take?
You cannot imagine withdrawing your support under any circumstances.
You know, if he went out and, you know, kicked a dog, I'd probably withdraw my support for him. But no, based on, you know, his professional delivery for the UK, no, absolutely not.
It's official, Nadine Dorries has defected from the Tories to Reform. So in case you forgot, here are her best bits.
Welcome to Piers Morgan Uncensored.
Coming up on tonight's programme, for a change, a man who is going to clear up a woman's mess. That's Rishi Sunak as he enters number 10. As you were, Sunak's stability extends to the cabinet with the big beefsteak and all cages but Braverman back at home in the Home Office. Sorry, I've just completely messed up. They're in our studio and we've brisked them for a clue. Stick around for Just Stop Oil live. Those MPs who drank the Kool-Aid and got rid of Boris Johnson are already asking themselves the question, who next? And I'm afraid that the lack of cohesion, the infighting, and occasionally the sheer stupidity from those who think we could have removed a sitting Prime Minister who secured a higher percentage of the vote share than Tony Blair did in 1997, just 3 short years ago, that they could do that and the public would let us get away with it. I'm afraid it's this behaviour that I now have to just remove myself from. And so, despite it being a job that I've loved for every year that I've done it, I'm now off. My gosh, I just said it out loud. There's no going back now.
Wow.
So, guys, did you expect that?
Hi, Nadine. So what's your job and what's your department? What do you do?
So, I'm Secretary of State for the Department of Digital, Culture, Media and Sport, which means that we're responsible for making sure you have super fast broadband in your home. That means you can downstream your movies. We're responsible for making sure the internet's a safe place for you to go to. We want to make the internet in the UK the safest internet in the world. We're responsible for everything to do with sport, for making sure you've got football pitches and that you have tennis pitches in your communities where you can play and exercise your sports. So I would argue that to say that just because Channel 4 has been established as a public service broadcaster and just because it's in receipt of public money, we should never kind of audit the future of Channel 4 and we should never evaluate how Channel 4 looks in the future and whether or not it's a sustainable and viable model. It's quite right that the government should do that.
But Channel 4 is not like the BBC. It's not in receipt of licence fee money. It makes its money from commercial operations.
And so, although it's, but...
Have you spoken to the Prime Minister recently in the last 24 hours?
Why? Why are you asking me that question?
I'd like to know.
We've communicated.
I'm really confused. Is that a difficult question? I'm just asking if you've spoken to the Prime Minister in the last 24 hours.
We have communicated.
OK. What has he communicated to you?
Well, I'm not going to tell you the extent of my communications with the Prime Minister. I mean, I've answered your question. We have communicated. What is your next question?
But anyone who says that this isn't being coordinated and isn't being organised behind the scenes, I'm afraid, is not telling you the truth. This is a very well organised campaign. It's a perfect storm for some. It's Remainers who are taking in others who are disaffected, and for a number of reasons, those who lost their jobs in cabinet or as ministers. And I'm afraid anyone who says that this isn't organised is not telling you the truth.
Nadine Dorries, thanks very much for being with us. I mean, it is a short report. It's an incomplete report, as we've just been hearing, but it's in its own way, it's pretty damning.
I just heard Sam's report, and as someone who has the greatest of respect for Sam, can I just say that a lot of what he's just said in that report was pure fiction and guesswork, particularly around...
Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second. He was quoting... hold on. Nadine Dorries, hold on. He was quoting from the report. They were in yellow in his graphics.
It does not say in Sue Gray's report that she does not trust the Prime Minister with the documents and so is therefore locking them in a safe. That is not in the report. That is conjecture.
But she's not letting him, giving him access to those documents, is she?
That is right and proper.
This is how we're improving online safety. The UK is passing some new legislation to make the internet safer for the younger generation. It's effectively a framework to protect internet users from scams, illegal content and anonymous abusers. It will force big tech to stop their terms being breached and puts in measures to defend free speech. But is it true it will impact freedom of expression? No, we put in legal protections in the 19th section. Another thing we're doing to the laws we're passing is tackling online crime and cyber flashing. If companies fail to comply with the law, fail to protect the users that they're responsible for, the regulator Ofcom will have the power to fine. So platforms must keep people safe online.
My question is a pretty fundamental one, which is the impression we're supposed to take now that Boris Johnson admits that things should have been done differently, and I think that's his words, and I'm not trying to change any meanings around that. The implication of that is somehow a different Boris Johnson is emerging. Is he exactly the same in your book?
So your question was actually very open-ended and non-specific. But what I would say is that the Prime Minister, when he appeared before the 22 committee last week, promised change. And I think anybody who picks up a newspaper or reads a newspaper, sees a television news bulletin can see that a huge amount of change is underway at present, particularly in number 10.
There is no denying at the time when his government,
Emily, can I get a
told
word in?
him to
Can I just get a
resign,
word in?
that there were problems.
Can I just get a word in? Rishi was also working in the same buildings. What Boris Johnson knew about Partygate, Rishi knew. Rishi was fined as well. They were working in the same buildings day and night with the same people, breathing the same air, doing exactly the same thing. The word Partygate is just, it's a misnomer. Number 10 is an office building with an iconic front door. And it was a workplace. Parties, as far as I'm concerned, take place socially. This was people in their own workplace. But I think it's, the tag Partygate is an easy tag to put on something it's just, it's just a gimmick title. But I think it's actually quite, it's misleading. But I know from the Prime Minister's perspective that walking from one meeting to another in a different room, from his office into the cabinet room, and being met with the cake that you never saw, that stayed in the Tupperware container. So I was with him in cabinet, after this all came out, and he went to me, there was no cake. He seemed to be very, but he couldn't understand why people were talking about a cake. He never saw a cake.
If you enjoyed this, you might enjoy my book, Manufactured Fear, available on Amazon.
There's a Nadim Zahawi in cabinet. So do you want me to say Nadine or Nadine?
There are only 3 women who call me Nadine. My mum, Theresa May, and you.
All right, it's Nadine.
So Nads is fine.
Oh,
that's what your brother calls me, is Nads, as you know. So
well,
Nads is fine.
Go Nads then. Yeah.
Once again, I'd like to say a big thank you to all of my Patreon and YouTube subscribers. Keep this channel going and growing. If you'd like to become one, there's a link in the description, as well as a link to my book, Manufactured Fear. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.